My hot coworker came running up all giddy about something while I was working. Damn, that is fat. She said she wanted to trade numbers since we were friends, so I agreed. I had just broken up with my fiancée because she cheated after 4 years and married the guy a few months after we broke up, so game is game. Then she lurched up and kissed me. She left blushing like a teenager and I was stunned. Now things have gotten out of hand. I thought if I just let things go and not acknowledge it, she'd take the hint. I know I should have said something. She's been a little obsessive since then. She greets me at the door when I come in. She has made a big deal about me not answering her texts since I have nothing going on. She tried to leave when I walked out into the parking lot together. She made up an emergency that she needed me to come over to her house on our off day to help with something in my skill set. I didn't pick up on it. I thought she needed help, so I go over and I'm trying to fix what she's talking about, and she comes back out in just her bra and panties and says her husband and kids aren't home, which, saved by the bell. The garage door started opening and she darted away. Her husband comes in and asks about what the issue is, and she comes back out in her normal clothes and acts like nothing just happened. I said I needed a part and it's easy. I wrote it down and said he can just plug and play with the part. I was just a deer in the headlights and I didn't know what to do or say otherwise, so I left. What should I do? Does she want an affair in general or just an affair with me? By the way, my coworker knew I had recently been cheated on and was struggling, so I'm kinda shocked she did this. Update: I had a conversation with my coworker after an awkward visit to her house where she appeared in her bra and panties and told me her family wasn't home, which was a few weeks after she kissed me at work. I told her I didn't want to wreck her marriage. I was just recently cheated on and this is just triggering all the hard feelings about that, and I didn't want to be like my ex. She said her marriage was basically for show and for the kids. They literally go to events together, so that was odd to me. She admitted that she married him because she got pregnant. They wound up having 2 more kids, but she's miserable. Her husband's family hates her. Her stepdaughter despises her. I guess there was some dark time. Her husband was a raging alcoholic before they had another kid. This is very consistent from what my buddy and colleague told me. He said he's known her for 8 years. She has never talked about her husband, only her kids. He suspected they stayed together because she got pregnant. He mentioned she began talking about me more than her kids or her husband, and she was getting agitated if I didn't answer her or I didn't spend a lot of time near her. She already tried to be compatible and compare me to her husband. She also brought up listening and understanding her better before she pursued a physical affair, but it's becoming out of control. She kissed me at work, always tried to catch me in the parking lot or get us alone. She gets jealous if I'm talking to other females, clients or coworkers. My female friends had taken notice and made comments that she is possessive and jealous and they're getting funky vibes from her without knowing what's going on. A few clients gave funny looks when she reacted to seeing me coming in for the day. I stopped in to grab something before a few days off and I was trying to be quick and she texted me, "Were you here and didn't come say hi to me?" I didn't know how to process all the information she gave to me and what I received. This is overwhelming to me. I'm still hurt from my last relationship and it's just setting off so many things in my brain and I can't make sense of anything. I saw her today. She literally went running from where she was and skidded to a halt in front of me and was smiling super silly and just amped. She was so excited to talk to me. It had only been 2 days since we addressed what happened at her house and I said I needed a few days to process the information. Now what? Story 2. My, 41 meters, wife, 41F, kissed another man on a night out. I wasn't bothered and now she's causing issues over it. Sorry if the title doesn't make much sense. I didn't know how to word it. Also on throwaway, as I don't want this on my main. Bit of context. We've been together since we were 18. Never had a great intimate life after the first year. Maybe once or twice a year at most since then, but at the minute it's going on 3 years, and although it bothers me, I love her and I love our kids, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I know plenty of friends in the same situation. Another bit of context is that I've always been mildly overweight but always fit, as I played a lot of sports until about 10 years ago when I got really ill and a mixture of meds and comfort eating made me balloon up to nearly 300 pounds. Well, 2 years ago I decided to do something about it. I'm now around 200, which at 6'2" is the lightest I've been as an adult, and I've actually enjoyed using weights and for the first time in my life have a bit of abs and some muscle. My wife, having always been far hotter, is pretty obviously insecure about the fact that for the first time we've been together women are starting to look at me and message me on my baking pages on social media. For the record, I've never even looked at another woman in that way. On to the night in question. My wife went out with some friends, a mix of singles and in a relationship. She looked stunning and I told her so. I even updated my phone home screen to that picture of her lol. One of the friends she was out with messaged me about 3 months and the gist was she knows I get no 69. My wife doesn't realize how lucky she is and basically, do I want to hook up? I obviously instantly take a screenshot and send it to my wife. Around 4 a.m. my wife gets home and she wakes me up as she gets into bed. I'm half awake but can tell something is wrong and ask what the matter is. She doesn't say anything for a few seconds, and as I go to grab her hand she pulls away. I ask if she wants me to get her a drink and she says no. Then she just blurts it out and says I met a guy tonight, he kissed me. I didn't kiss back at first, then I did. Then for the next half hour we were dancing and constantly kissing. She kept saying sorry and begging me not to leave her. My honest first reaction was, so what, it's only kissing and dancing. I didn't say that. I just hugged her and tried to calm her down. An hour or so later, once I got the right words in my head, I said, I know you feel really guilty, but please don't. I'm not going to leave you and break up our family over some kissing and dancing, and I don't love you any less than I did yesterday, and this isn't something that's going to grow and cause and resentment. More or less right on cue, my phone goes off, and it's that friend of hers with a picture and a video of what my wife was doing. This set my wife off again, but my feelings still haven't changed, and a month later that remains the case. In that month since then, my wife has accused me of not loving her because I didn't care. She's accused me of kissing other people and more, which is why I didn't care, as I was covering up my own indiscretions, and she's accused me of being gay multiple times, which doesn't make sense. She keeps asking me why I haven't initiated anything with her, even though in the past she's told me she hates being touched and not to ever try it on with her, which I have respected. She's basically projecting, and it's annoying me as it's putting a strain on us, which she is 100% causing. How do I get through to her that she needs to stop feeling guilty and just move on, because I have, as it's not a big deal. I was genuinely more annoyed when she broke my baking bowl and tried to blame it on the cat, lol. Edit. Hi all, just wanted to say thank you all so much for taking the time to respond to me. I really do appreciate it, and I'm overwhelmed you all took the time. I keep getting asked a few questions, so thought I'd address them here. Over the years we have been to a few different couples counselors and 69 therapists, the latest being last September for both. My wife always feels like she's being victimized by them, and we stopped going. Nearly all have said though they think she is asexual, and two even saying she is displaying a lot of signs of being a closeted lesbian, which I have brought up to her before and she is adamant she's not. On that note, I've had a lot of messages saying she wants to feel wanted and for me to be more forward with her. This is not true. In all our sessions she said she doesn't want me trying it on with her. She doesn't even want me to initiate hugs, and just bringing up 69 makes her feel under pressure. She let me, and our therapists, know that if she ever 69 without her initiating, it will be no more than a pity deed. As for people saying I don't love her, I buy her flowers every Friday on the way home from work. I bake her favorite cookies or cupcakes every weekend. I send her voice notes of songs I'm listening to that remind me of her. I tell her I love her every day. I run her a bath every night. This isn't me showing off, this is how I was brought up, to show love. For those saying I must have been brought up in an unloving home, people have said that I don't get jealous. I don't love her. If she told me she was having an emotional affair, she spent hours on the phone with someone else laughing and joking, she snuggled on a sofa eating chocolates and watching TV with someone, etc., I'd be devastated. A dance and a kiss isn't a big deal to me, and not even close to divorce. Thank you all again for reading. Second edit. Sorry for these. It's 7 a.m. in the morning here now, the day after I posted this. Been talking to my wife since 6 and said she's got a week to agree to go back to couples counseling, and she's got to stick it out this time and not just accuse them of taking sides and refuse to go back. She said no. She said they all bully her and make her out to be the bad guy. She said I went back on my word that I forgive her and won't resent her. I said this isn't about the kiss. It's about her reaction since the kiss, and that it feels like she's purposely trying to drive me away and make me leave her. She just got up and stormed out the room. She then got dressed and said she's going out until I go to work. Update. It's been nearly 2 weeks since I made the post, and the short update is that we are getting divorced. I said in my last post I told her I wanted us to go back to couples counseling and 69 therapy. She said no to both as we went before, and she felt bullied. She said at 69 therapy that unless she initiates touching, not just 69 any touching like hugs or hand holding, it will be against her will and will be force/pity affection from her. The 69 therapist said that's very unreasonable, and that's why she felt bullied there. I tried to ask her a few questions too. Are you a lesbian or at least bi? Don't be stupid. Are you asexual? I'm not a teenager with a stupid label. What did he have that I don't? I just wanted to do it. Why don't you ever want to do that with me? Don't know. What can I do to make you want to do that to me? Don't know. Do you want me to take the initiative and try it on with you more? Frick no, I'll tell you when I want it, don't guess. So she refused the therapy and gave me no straight answers. She has also said I've gone back on my word about not letting the kiss split us up, because now it is. I said it's not the kiss, it's your behavior since then that has caused me to want a divorce. She said as it's my decision to divorce and it's all my fault, then I should be the one to tell our kids and she will have no part of it. That was hard. As soon as they were told, my wife left for her sisters, and in the 3 days since I haven't heard anything from her. I've tried speaking to her about the kids as they miss her, but she reads my messages and ignores me. A lot of people asked about the friend and why they still talk after she tried it on with me. My wife tried to get the friend group to cut the friend out, but they all pretty much refused, and so my wife just chose to ignore her in group settings. On the night in question, the friend approached my wife and told her if she didn't tell me she would send me the video. So my wife didn't tell me because she felt guilty, but because she was forced. I've also spoken to a couple of other friends in the group and asked what's been going on. I'm not privy to. Apparently my wife was 69 texting her friend's boyfriend a couple of years ago. My wife has also been boasting about how she has me under the thumb and she gets away with giving me nothing, and I'm too scared to ask. The friend apparently saw me out shopping one day and decided I was now more hotter and thought she'd try and exact some revenge on my wife, so she didn't really want me. I was just a pawn in this weird friend group. One of many internal beefs with each other which I found out about in the last few days. Basically they all seem to hate each other and mess with each other's partners. I'll be honest now and I feel incredibly guilty about it, but when she left my body and soul seemed to take a massive sigh of relief. It was like a black cloud that was dripping eggshells on the floor for me to constantly avoid. I feel terrible for feeling this way, but I feel like I'm 6'2" height now rather than a browbeaten 3-foot who was scared to even say anything for fear of being told I'm wrong or insulted or ridiculed. It's like the blinkers have been taken off. Spent the day today baking with my kids, eating Easter eggs and watching cartoons, and I haven't stopped smiling all day. I haven't winced or broke out in a sweat worrying I'm about to be told off about being too noisy or watching the wrong thing on TV or there's a wrapper on the floor, etc. Thank you everyone for your support on my last post. I appreciate you all. Update, sorry for updating here. I'm only allowed to make one update on RA. Also want to thank everyone again for their concern and kindness they've shown me on my 2 posts, and also thank you to everyone on Baru who made some lovely comments after my post was shared on there. Unfortunately the post was locked before I found out, so I couldn't thank you all personally. After my last update, a lot of people commented and messaged me to say that I am sure my kids are mine. This thought never entered my head until I read what people said. Last Thursday I ordered a paternity test, sent it Friday and am awaiting the results. At this point I don't really care, it won't change my love for them, but I'm terrified if they come back as not biologically mine I'll lose them. I discussed this with my lawyer last week, who said if they aren't mine it will be much harder to get even any kind of custody. I told him if it comes to that then I'll keep fighting until the end. Blood or no, they are my boys. Speaking of the boys, my STBX has seen them a couple of times with her mom, who is genuinely a nice person, and the kids have been fine. I can't say the same about my baking equipment though. She came into the house on Friday last week when she knew I was out and took a lot of it and purposely broke some bits she knew had sentimental value to me that came from my grandma and my mom. I can't prove she did anything, and she brought the stuff back on Sunday and said she just borrowed the items, but I love baking and she is slowly ruining it for me. I'd already deleted my Instagram page because she was insecure about the women who followed me, and this time she must have remembered I was making a cake for my niece's birthday and tried to sabotage it. I've made notes and screenshots of everything. As a lot of you rightly predicted, she had also been cheating on me a lot, although no evidence of it being physical yet from what I can tell. Her friend, who is also in this WhatsApp group where women basically just post nudes and men comment. I still need to get the details of this group so I can finally get to see some melons again, lol. Sent me a lot more screenshots of photos she's taken, all around our house, blatantly her bedroom, and some of them in one even stood against my car. Also, a few of these friends are single, and when they hook up with someone my wife will add the guy on Facebook and has basically been offering herself to them. One of the friends messaged one of the guys who still had the chats in his Facebook DMs and sent the friend a load of screenshots to send to me. All in all, I must have over 100 screenshots of stuff she's been saying and sending to people, and all of that is within the last couple of years, so it probably goes on further. As for the divorce, still in the early stages. One day I want to fight, the next I just want to give her everything, materially, not the kids, and walk away and start again so I can get this finished and done. If you got any questions I'll try to answer. It's nearly midnight here, but I'll try to stay up, lol. Update, got the DNA results and my sons are mine. Thank you for your support everyone.